This video is sponsored by War Thunder. This is Hyrule, an area you first visit not even halfway through The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. And this is the Great Barrier. Just past this barrier is Ganon's Tower, the final dungeon. You're teased with a glimpse of the tower not even halfway through the game, but don't be fooled. This barrier can't be broken until much later in the game. But that didn't stop people from trying to outsmart the game and skip past this barrier. Doing so would skip hours of gameplay, a holy grail for Wind Waker speedrunning. For well over a decade, barrier skip seemed like a lost cause. But eventually, breakthrough discoveries from various talented glitch hunters across both the original release and the remake culminated in one of the most exciting sagas in speedrunning history. This is the complete story of Wind Waker's barrier skip. So, what is this barrier exactly? Well, after completing the third dungeon, Tower of the Gods, you are transported below the Great Sea into the now sunken kingdom of Hyrule. On your first visit here, you may notice a giant barrier surrounding the castle. If you walk into this barrier, you'll be bounced back. There's nothing you can do. You'll go back into the castle, get the Master Sword, head back into the Great Sea, beat Forsaken Fortress, and you end up back in Hyrule. Still can't do anything. No, in order to shatter that barrier, you need to head back to the sea, power up that Master Sword from clearing 2 more dungeons, and embark on a long quest to collect 8 pieces of the Shattered Triforce of Courage in order to return down to Hyrule for the final time and shatter that barrier for good. That's quite a lengthy process. Wouldn't it be nice to just slip right past? Unfortunately, the game really doesn't want you doing that. The barrier is a giant cylinder that surrounds Hyrule Castle. It extends higher than you could see, and extends very far down. You couldn't go over, you couldn't go under, it is unscalable. This barrier is foolproof during normal play, but if you know anything about Wind Waker speedruns, is that they are very glitch heavy. Yes, these speedrunners had some tricks up their sleeves. One such person was Majora MIM, and on June 5th, 2010, he pierced the skin. By getting knocked back by the barrier, Link is temporarily invulnerable. During this period of invulnerability, he walked as far as he could, and with good timing, pulled out the Wind Waker item on the same frame that you lose invulnerability. He was standing in the barrier. Huh, it really was that easy. Not. Turns out it's more than just a knockback barrier. It is layered. Past the knockback layer is an invisible wall that is rock solid. Unfortunately, there wasn't much you could do here. Even with an arsenal of glitches at their disposal, nothing seemed to work. Zombie hovering was out of the question, not just because the barrier was impossibly high, but taking damage would leave you vulnerable once again to the knockback layer. By doing some tricky movement, you could get on the ledge of the bridge, but because the ledges are non-grabbable, there's nothing to work with in terms of ledge clipping. Okay, so clearing the barrier doesn't work, and there didn't seem to be any way to clip past the barrier. Well, actually, there was a way it could be done with one specific glitch. Dry storage. Storage is one of the most important glitch discoveries in Wind Waker speedrunning, dating all the way back to 2010 when glitch hunter Clydestorm initially discovered it by catching forest water in a bottle, and then activated storage by pulling out the Wind Waker on the same frame as the forest water turned back into regular water, which happens 20 minutes after bottling the forest water. Activating storage allows you to store events, such as talking to an NPC, opening a chest, or the camera lock when pulling out the Wind Waker. Storage has a variety of uses, such as skipping cutscenes, altering Link's collision in a way that changes how he interacts with level geometry, as well as the infamous Super Swim. These applications of storage are incredibly powerful, but were severely held back by needing to wait 20 minutes for forest water to expire. But on October 3rd, 2012, This annoying restriction was no more when a user by the name of Foregone Moose accidentally discovered dry storage, a method of obtaining storage without needing forest water, hence the name dry storage. After Moose recounted that they got storage after performing a Wind Waker dive, glitch hunter Ababob managed to figure out how to recreate dry storage. It immediately changed the game forever. As new tricks involving dry storage were being implemented into the run, Ababob began to test out more applications. One effect of storage Bob had discovered back in May was the door cancel, where if you store a text box, clear the text box, and then try opening a swinging door, the text storage interrupts opening the door. In this state, the screen usually turns completely black, and Link's collision is altered severely, allowing him to walk through some walls in collision, including the barrier. On October 1st, 2012, Ababob uploaded a video showing that with the power of dry storage and a door cancel, you could make it past that second layer. And thus, a hypothetical method for barrier skip had finally been found. There was just one problem. There are no doors in Hyrule! Ababob merely showed that with cheats, that if there was a single door in Hyrule, barrier skip could be done. But alas, it wasn't meant to be. Several years would pass without any progress towards barrier skip, until May 2016, when a glitch hunter by the name of Dragonbane was researching a glitch known as actor unloading. In a video he uploaded on May 20th, Dragonbane demonstrated actor unloading by filling up and fragmenting the game's actor heap in memory while in the Wind Temple, resulting in the Song Stone right before the boss door failing to load. With this discovery, Dragonbane hypothesized, what if you could just make the Hyrule barrier disappear? Fast forward to May 26th, and a major breakthrough was made. Dragonbane proved barrier skip to be 100% theoretically possible. Emphasis on theoretically. Dragonbane showed that if you could fill up enough actor memory and fragment it enough, the barrier would fail to load, completely skipping it. Now, this was an exciting discovery, don't get me wrong, but there was a major hurdle that kept barrier skip as a pipe dream for the time being. How are you going to fill up all that memory? Since actor unloading was a new discovery at the time, not very well understood, and a very lengthy and complicated process to set up, its few proven uses, such as skipping the Tower of the Gods, were niche and impractical. There were only a very few places where you could perform actor unloading, not to mention that even after you fill up all that memory, going through a loading zone clears it. It was frustrating. This glitch had a lot of potential, and was the closest thing to a lead on barrier skip thus far, but without a reliable way to maintain a filled memory down to Hyrule, it was just a theory. A glitch theory. The search for barrier skip was at an impasse once again, but then, just a month later, an accidental discovery had revolutionized Wind Waker, except it wasn't in the original version. But before we get to that, a word from today's sponsor, War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and is now available for free on PC and consoles. Take command over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations, ranging from biplanes and armored cars of the 1920s to the fighter jets and main battle tanks of today. Every component of War Thunder's sophisticated vehicle models are incredibly detailed, from the engines, the armor, fuel tanks, and crew. The impressive X-ray view shows you the precise effects of every shot. Customize your vehicles with countless different camouflage patterns and decorations, including community-created ones. Immerse yourself in the intense combat of War Thunder, where incredibly detailed vehicles, realistic graphics, and authentic sound effects place you right at the helm of the most powerful war machines of our time. Join a worldwide community of over 70 million players in epic PvP battles today, and delve into the breathtaking experience that is War Thunder. With an unmatched wealth of high-quality content to discover, there is simply no game better suited for fans of military history. And here's the best part. It's free to play on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox using my link in the description or pinned comment below. This link includes a limited time offer for new and returning players that haven't played in 6 months across all platforms, a massive bonus pack that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account. So what are you waiting for? Click the link below to claim your bonus and join the battle in War Thunder for free today. Wind Waker HD is an enhanced remastered released on the Wii U in September 2013, and since its release, it was not nearly as broken as the original. While it benefited from new quality of life changes, many big speedrun glitches were patched out, such as Wind Waker dives and storage. Even so, there was still an active community for this version, and in the early hours of June 24th, 2016, a player by the name of Gurtana1 stumbled upon one of its most powerful glitches: item sliding. Item sliding is a glitch that allows Link to build up infinite negative speed, allowing for faster ground movement, massive jumps, clips, and even super swimming. This was thanks to a new feature in HD, where instead of standing still when aiming a first-person item, like the grappling hook, bow, or hookshot, you could move around with the left stick and aim with the right. Item sliding works when you pull one of those items out, hold the left stick fully in one direction, and then on the next frame via pause buffering, hold very slightly in the opposite direction just outside of the analog dead zone in the center, usually referred to as ESS position. Gurtana had found this by accident, due to him playing the HD version with a GameCube controller via homebrew software that incorrectly mapped the analog stick dead zone. After communicating to Gurtana, a runner, Zuri Suzy, figured out how to perform item sliding, and its impact on the speedrun was immediate, as various uses of item sliding were beginning to be found across various sections of the run. Gurtana set out to try item sliding at a certain location. On August 18th, 2016, Gurtana uploaded a video showing himself past the barrier, claiming that he had clipped through a small crack in the barrier, despite the lack of footage of him actually doing it. While many brushed Gurtana off as possibly faking it, one player, Linkoscuro, decided to test out item sliding in the barrier like Gurtana claimed to have done. 2 days and several dozen hours of attempts later...
What? Guys, I did it! 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 I did barrier skip! Woohoo! Get it!
For the first time ever, a player had skipped the barrier. No cheats, no theoreticals, just straight up barrier skip, clipping through 2 misaligned polygons of the barrier that left a microscopic gap. There was a catch, however. Linkoscuro copied what Gurtana had done, including wearing the Iron Boots, an item obtained near the end of the game. So if you needed Iron Boots, you'd still need to complete the Earth and Wind Temples, as well as the Triforce quest. Since barrier skip wasn't properly understood yet, and was absurdly inconsistent, it wasn't ready to be used in runs, and if Iron Boots were required, it would only save a few minutes. No, some important data needed to be collected first. By September 1st, Dragonbane had created a data viewer app for Wind Waker HD, allowing people testing barrier skip to log their inputs, as well as an in-game position, facing angle, and speed. So if someone managed to record themselves performing barrier skip using this tool, the data could be studied and be used to create a consistent setup. Because of how ridiculously precise barrier skip was, it took over half a year for it to be properly logged and recorded. But on April 10th, 2017, who else but Gurtana was streaming his attempts to replicate the barrier skip, this time with Dragonbane's input logger. And then, the moment Wind Waker was changed forever.
Oh my god! Oh my Oh my god! Oh my god! No! No way! I did it!
He had done it, and everything recorded too. Redemption for Gurtana, and very useful information for Dragonbane and the whole Wind Waker community. Within 24 hours, it was then found that you didn't need Iron Boots to clip, just a very precise angle and enough item sliding speed. Gymnast 86 would create a consistent setup, and this development immediately shaved 2 full hours off of any percent. You no longer needed to beat the first 3 dungeons. Now, the run involved getting the grappling hook from Dragon Roost Cavern as soon as possible, exiting the dungeon, and then using item sliding to super swim across the ocean in order to grab necessary items, such as bombs, the Deku Leaf, and a quiver early. Afterwards, you'd use more glitches to clear the Forsaken Fortress revisit, skip the Helmarock King fight to then reach Hyrule, perform Barrier Skip, and reach Ganon's Tower, skipping nearly every dungeon and the long Triforce quest. And that's not all. Having a quiver also allowed you to fire light arrows after getting them in Ganon's Tower, even without getting the bow in Tower of the Gods, and the Puppet Ganon cutscene gives you the Mirror Shield and a fully powered Master Sword. This was incredibly fortunate. It was just a shame that in skipping the hookshot from the Wind Temple, runners were forced to do a zombie hover into randomly moving fairies to reach the entrance to the final boss. A cruel trick at the end of the run with about a 2% success rate. Barrier Skip had drastically shortened any percent. Live viewership and general interest in Wind Waker HD speedruns was at an all-time peak, but the luck factor of Fairy Hover made it a very brutal category to grind for several months. But that's a story for another video. While any percent for the time being was in a bit of a dark age, it was not the only category that benefited from Barrier Skip though. The newly created All Dungeons category, as well as 100%, saves significant time from performing Barrier Skip to get Light Arrows, Mirror Shield, and the fully powered Master Sword early. Also, you could open a portal from Ganon's Tower to Forsaken Fortress, so that you could return to the Great Sea and back to Ganon's Tower with these powerful items. This skips the Triforce quest in all dungeons. All in all, Barrier Skip had made Wind Waker HD one of the hottest games to speedrun in the late 2010s, and it got even better. More optimizations, the eventual elimination of Fairy Hover, and some unforgettable marathon runs. It was great. So, what about the Wind Waker? You know, the GameCube original? The barrier in the original Wind Waker was how it was like in HD, small crack and everything. With enough speed, you could clip right through, but unlike HD, Wind Waker did not allow you to do item sliding, so that wasn't an option to build up speed. But one glitch hunter had some ideas. Trog. He is one of the most knowledgeable glitch hunters and tassers of Wind Waker, so if anyone was gonna find a way, it was gonna be him. Trog had already found, using hacks, that you could clip through the barrier with at least 35 speed, just barely too high compared to Link's fastest movement options. However, one idea to get enough speed involved dropping a bomb. When Link is holding a bomb over his head, you can press B to drop it, displacing Link's position by several units. Trog then wrote a script that simulated thousands of bomb drops with a displacement of 52 units in a frame to hopefully find a way through. In the end, he found nothing. If Trog couldn't find a way to clip through the barrier, things were looking quite grim. The year is now 2019. Wind Waker HD speedrunning is in the best spot that it's ever been in. The any percent record is comfortably under 1 hour. New optimizations have made the run faster and more consistent. Meanwhile, the GameCube version saw far less activity. Wind Waker HD had stolen the spotlight, and the original version speedrun scene was kinda dead. For 2 long years, the GameCube version was completely overshadowed, but even then, there were still people looking for something new. and on June 27th, 2019, a Discord message from community member R3D would post an image of Link with an arrow stuck to his hand. An accidental discovery that was about to change everything once again. By July 2nd, Glitch Hunter Legend of Link managed to recreate the arrow in hand glitch in Wind Waker HD, and another Glitch Hunter, Azure67, managed to recreate it in the original. Soon after, it was soon discovered to be a duplication glitch. The arrows would duplicate in Link's hand, and Azure, along with Dragonbane, PK Slam, and Demon, came to an astonishing conclusion. Arrow duplication could be used to fill up memory. Duplicating arrows will eventually fill up a heap in memory known as game, where actors and their functions are stored, like the arrows. This can lead to actor unloading, and unlike previous setups from 2016, it can be done almost everywhere. However, the game heap will be cleared if you go through a loading zone, which unfortunately means filling up game will not unload the barrier. This is where another heap, Din, comes into play. The Din heap stores small dynamic actors, as well as positions and references of loaded actors, and also serves as a backup space for actors to load into. Thanks to a memory leak exclusive to the Japanese version, which already was the fastest version for GameCube, you could fill up Din once game could not load any more actors, and when going through loading zones, Din will not clear. Could it be? Yes. On July 5th, 2019, Dragonbane proved, using arrow duping to fill up memory, that the barrier could be unloaded in normal gameplay. Barrier skip was officially confirmed to be possible on the GameCube version. Now, all that was left was for the community to find a way to implement it in speedruns. By July 11th, Gymnast had developed a route that cleared Dragonroost Cavern and Forbidden Woods to get the bow from Tower of the Gods, then performed a sequence of arrow dupes to fill up game, and then used the grappling hook several times, which is now invisible, and then super swim to different islands to perform similar setups with the invisible grappling hook and arrows to fragment Din memory. Din is a much larger heap than game, and filling up Din would be much more time consuming if not for super swimming to different islands to fragment memory even more, leaving less allocated space for the barrier to load. Very quickly, Gymnast's route was enough to push the category under 3 hours. On July 15th, Demon found a more efficient way to fill up memory in the Forest Haven with just the invisible grappling hook, thanks to that area's low memory. He then used more elaborate memory fragmentation via super swimming, skipping the bow and bringing the route below 2 hours. July 22nd saw Trog discover that bait also helps fill up memory quickly, and by the end of the year, the run became much more optimized and approached the 1 hour mark. However, these actor unloading routes were very volatile. The barrier itself is less than 2 kilobytes in size, so you gotta be careful how much memory you have left leading up to Hyrule, otherwise the game may crash. Random elements that fill up the memory, such as lightning strikes, must also be taken into account. Oh, and while you're in Hyrule, unloading the barrier is luck-based, as it may not be the actor that unloads when you leave the castle, meaning you have to go back in and out of the castle and hope that the barrier unloads. By the end of the year, Any Percent had once again been declared dead. Linkus's Any Percent run of 104.50 was the culmination of excellent execution and luck with a second try barrier skip. For it to go any lower, beyond the sub-hour, something new needed to be found. Lo and behold, February 1st, 2020, when Glitch Hunter Bowser is Bored, found this. Yeah, remember that bomb clip theory Trog tested out in 2017? As it turned out, Bowser is Bored decided to look into doing simulations of his own, this time setting the speed value to 52.7 as opposed to just 52. an oversight from Trog that delayed the discovery of this method of barrier skip for several years. Unbelievable. Now, before you go start wondering why it took so long to find something that looks so simple, this bomb push clip is very precise, down to a float value, a tight set of angles, and a specific frame for dropping the bomb. Needless to say, this was way simpler than actor unloading, and eliminated the luck factor of the previous route. This, along with a simple clip discovered by Gymnast the next day that skipped the grappling hook, helped push the original Wind Waker below 1 hour. Barrier skip was once thought to be merely a fool's errand. With a seemingly impenetrable defense, the Hyrule Barrier was once thought to be one of the greatest obstacles speedrunners could not overcome. But eventually, key discoveries, both from intricately thought out hypotheses as well as dumb luck, led to the holy grail of Wind Waker speedrunning, in both the HD remaster and the original release. Even to this day, new setups in both versions are being found to make it faster or easier than ever before, as the legend of the infamous barrier skip continues to be told for generations to come. Special shoutouts to ZeldaSpeedruns.com. Without its impressive documentation of Wind Waker history, this video may not have been possible. Thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. And don't forget to check out the limited time offer in the description or pinned comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to shoot for the moon.